When I read Jonah's request for stories, my name is Mirea Ellis. When I read Jonah's request for stories, my first thought was that Adrienne was the best storyteller. And I'm sure many of you here would agree with that, right? She was just so incredible. And she talked so often about she was asked to write down her stories. And she had planned on it. And I'm so glad that Joan is collecting stories, because these stories really need to be told and heard. She chronicled her extraordinary experiences through life with a charisma and drama that was captivating. These non-common stories were all testimonies to how much greater our capacities and abilities are than we are ever told by society. How when we open to our deep and profound challenges and callings, Spirit supports us in achieving what most would term the miraculous. During a shamanic course Adrienne and I attended together, the teacher, Alberto Viodo, stated that when we call upon Spirit, Spirit always answers. But the real question is, when Spirit calls us, do we answer? From a young age, Adrienne did, and this took her on many adventures with blessings and challenges that continued to mold her into the powerful, bigger-than-life persona that I dearly loved, and provided the fire for her true stories of miracles and healing and awe that inspired those lucky enough to hear her tell them, and hopefully gave listeners a nudge to explore their own capacity to embrace a life where the miraculous is commonplace. Of her many roles in life, daughter, lover, wife, mother, singer, actress, store owner, cook extraordinaire, and much more, Adrienne was also a healer. Some healers are drawn more to plant medicine, some to energy medicine, some to story medicine. All of these came naturally to Adrienne. Whether she was asked to do a healing or simply in the presence of someone whom she sensed needed healing, Adrienne constantly gave of herself to help others. Along with healing, for me, and I'm sure others close to her, she pushed us to take leaps where we had been hesitating. I know many of you have known Adrienne for most of your life, or some of you all of your life. I met Adrienne about 10 years ago when I went to Crystal Lessons to buy supplies for a 2-year course with the 4 Winds that I was starting the next day. I'd been in Crystal Lessons many times before, but this was the first time she was at the register. The next day when I arrived at the course location, there was a pretty big large crowd of students, about 80. I took a seat, and one by one the other seats were filled until only one seat was left, which happened to be right next to me, and then to my great surprise, it was Adrienne who sat down in it. And I know that was really meant to be. That was the start of our profound and continuing friendship. Our adventures together from that point were so numerous, and I'll share one because it illustrates many of her talents, plus her great care and generosity. One year the Cohens hosted a holiday party in December, and they had Sheila Height there to give a tarot reading to all of us present, as a gift to us all. Late in the evening, everyone gathered around Sheila, who passed around a deck, and we were all picked one and kept one, and then went up to her for a reading. But when I went up, Sheila told me that the coming year would be the best in my life so far. I would be the star, etc., etc. And then she said, but you will not have any of this unless you decide what you want. Well, I was busy. Like most of us in our life, I didn't have time to really think about that. And then it wasn't until February that all of a sudden I realized what I wanted, which was something just really inside, to release my resistance to fully opening up to hearing what Spirit was telling me. And at that night, I had 2 vivid dreams, which really showed me the fears I was having. And then the next night, I had a dream, profound, of what direction I should go in. But then I had a vision after that when I woke up. And this Spirit, I thought, came to me, looked South American to me, or Central American and offered me a healing, and he dissolved, and then all of a sudden I felt this energy, and I felt like, have any of you ever experienced a feather fan that when it goes next to you, you feel this wind? Well, I was feeling that on this area that I had an ovarian cyst, and I had skin problems, but this was a waking thing. I was awake, and I looked, and my muscles were literally spasming, literally. And I said, if I read this in a book, I would have thought they made it up so they would get sales. I couldn't believe that would happen, but it was happening. So I had this big paradigm shift. And so, of course, I called Adrienne and told her all about the dreams, and she related to it. And that was one of the things I greatly miss, is someone that could just really understand me and relate so well. And then she called me in March, and she said she was going to see some shamans in Connecticut for a workshop that I want to come. And I said, well, of course. So we went together. And then, when the shamans walked into the room, the main shaman, it was him. It was the person in my vision, right? And my jaw drops. And Adrienne gives me this nudge with her elbow. She says, was that him? Was that the guy in your vision? And I said, oh, yes. She said, I knew it was him, because that's Don Martin. And he works with a big feather fan. And I knew it was him. And so then she says, well, first of all, we had been told before they walked in, Don Martin, all his private sessions have been filled. Do not ask for a private session. Please, it'll make us so uncomfortable, because we can't. They're filled. There's not enough time. Don't ask. And then Adrienne says, you need to see him for a private session. And I said, you heard, Adrienne. And then we argued about it. I can't because they said, and I don't want to. I'm a do the right thing kind of person. I'm not going to ask them. They said no. And Adrienne keeps saying, you must, you must, you must. Right? And so finally I had to ask. Why? To shut her up. Because nothing would stop her. This is this nudge. Sometimes it's a little nudge. Sometimes it's like, it drives you crazy. So I asked, and they said, we're so sorry, I'm sorry you asked. You're making us uncomfortable. We told everyone that too. And then I went back and I said, see, Adrienne, I told you so. But, her pushing me made me think where I think I wouldn't have otherwise thought of. I need to tell him my vision. I saw him in this vision. I need to tell him. And so I asked, and I was told, yes, the interpreter, you can talk to him over lunch. So the next day I went and found the interpreter, and I start to tell him my vision of him. And then he goes, Spanish, 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 and I couldn't understand, and he walks away. And the interpreter says, Don Martin says that you are a healer. This vision means you are a healer. You need to go up a mountain in Peru to have an ID Carpi ride with the shaman. I freaked out inside. I don't know which shaman. I don't know which mountain. I don't have the money. I haven't even been walking up the hill in Beckett where I live. What am I supposed to do? But did I tell the interpreter that? Who might have given me suggestions? No, because unlike Adrienne, I have been repressed in my life. I didn't say anything. And so I figured maybe if I tell Don Martin the whole vision, maybe he'll give me different advice. Something I can do. So I said, get him back, get him back. I have to tell him the whole story. And the interpreter says, he already knows the whole story because he was there, remember? So I just decided, okay, I have to do it. I have to start walking up the hill in Beckett. I need to save money, and I need to figure these things out, and I'm going to do it, and it's going to take me a really long time. And then, in May, Adrienne calls me, and she says, Miriam, I'm going to Peru to work with shamans. And it's not on the top of a mountain. We're going on a boat trip on the Amazon River with the Shipido medicine people who sing in these ethereal songs. And it's going to be 4 nights of ceremony in the jungle. It's not a mountain. But when a shaman tells you something, it doesn't need to be exactly that. And I have so many extra, these travel miles you get when you fly off. They give you travel miles for free, and I'll give them to you and you can go with me. And so I did. And that changed my life. Without that, I wouldn't have let go of all this repression I had in so many ways. Opening up to others, opening up to myself, opening up to spirit. I dearly wanted it, but I needed something more extreme, and it was perfect. Perfect for me. Okay, back to my notes. Okay. So I had assumed that it was a being from the spirit world that had come to me, and I had such a profound paradigm shift that this was a real person. I also couldn't have believed that. So I'm going to talk about that. So to end with, that was only one of the many, many reasons I will always cherish Adrienne and be thankful to have had the great blessing for her being in my life. Adrienne, for all the blessings you have given so many others, may be returned to you, like so many have said here today, 1,000-fold. And I look forward to many more adventures and miracles with you in the spirit world and in other lifetimes. Blessed be.